Well, we're at Pinkney Recreation Center, and we are at the Bruin Lake Modern Campground. And they've just done a bunch to, sort of modernize and make it nicer. And a lot of what's going on here is they put in these pads, all asphalt, and they redid the roads. And there's quite a bunch going on here. It's late April. They haven't even finished the new shower house over here. We're on site 127. And the only thing I would say about 127 is this is a hill right here. So there's really no flat place to sit, next to your fire pit. There's a little kind of almost flat pit on the back side of it, or a flat spot on the back side of it over there. But the people that were here before put their picnic table over here on the, just about ready to go on the downslope. And as you can see, there's not even a flat spot here. So the pad is fairly level. We only had to put, one little set of yellow blocks underneath there to get it level. And there is electric service here. And so what you have is 20 and 30 at this site. And then, there's quite a few, campers in here already. It's April, 25th or 6th or something like that. And there's Bruin Lake, right? So it's pretty close. A lot of the campground isn't open yet. It's mostly, I would say, site-wise, mostly tent spots. And then this back lane, and then all this area down here is camper area. And then across here, you can, maybe if you can see it through the woods, there is a little, like a paved walking path. And then there's also hike-in tent camping over there. And then right back in there, there's a yurt, which, is, a lot, you can put a lot of people in that, and you don't have to bring a tent or anything. And then there's, this little, camping cabin over here you can rent. So all in all, I think right now it's a decent park, but the one thing I would say is, they're not really well spread out. They're pretty close together. Make sure you know where you're going, because there are a number of primitive campsites around here, and the main address for the park, which is what you find prominently on the internet, on the website and whatnot, are actually for the park headquarters, which is over by a primitive campsite, not this new modern campsite that they've put in. So if you navigate to that, you're about 4 miles off, or actually I think that's as a crow flies, so it's about 8 miles away from this park. Which the address for this park is buried in the website. So we went to the wrong park, and we only have a 23-foot trailer, and we would have had very significant difficulty getting around that primitive park with a bigger trailer than this. So if you misnavigate and you head over there and you have a big trailer, you're probably in an uncomfortable situation. But anyhow, once you get here, it's pretty nice, and it's a revamped campground thanks to ARPA. We're on the little hike-in trail here, and so here's what a hike-in site looks like at Pinckney. You just walk in here and set up your tent, and looks like there's, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 sites in here that See one up on the hill up there that's occupied, and then a couple down here. And you're nice and secluded in the woods. And you got a little paved path to carry your stuff in, and then there's parking at either end of this little paved path with maybe, I don't know, half a dozen spots for parking cars. So you park your car there, you haul your tent out, and take a little hike on the paved path. And pitch your tent. And here's the other end of that trail, and this is that yurt, and it's pretty good size. It's got obvious heat, and you know, looks like thermal pane windows. Some nice Adirondack chairs out back. You know, so, and you can see there's a whole bunch of cars here, so there's a lot of people in that thing. Okay, so these two spots are reserved for the yurt, and then the rest of them are hike-in campers that are hiking in that little section over here that we just came from. And then there's looks like a walking path here. And if you rent the yurt, there's a handicapped little outhouse here, so you don't have to go far to go to the bathroom. And my wife doesn't want to be on camera, so I'm just chasing her around in a circle here. Okay, now we're coming up to the end of that little hike-in trail thing, and this is actually the end of our loop that we're camping on. And then on the other side of the main drag here is basically all tent camping. So you can see there's no pads, and then just a whole row of bing, 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 bing fire rings. They do appear to have electric. And then they haven't yet put out their picnic tables at all the sites yet. And then you can see they're still working on this construction, and so, you know, this road is not yet fully complete, and you know, there's areas that, you know, they're trying to get grass to grow in, and looks like they just put in all these new water stations that are nicely winterized here. And oh, that's nice. Right in your back of site number 68 is a big old drain there, so everything drains through that side, it looks like. Yeah, anyhow, so really, I think if you're here in a camper, you're going to be going down one of these last two lanes and camping down there or down there, and then the rest of it's all just tent sites. Well, we have the old pitcher pump here, and then the new that's been put in here with looks like pretty recently, so you can get water either way. I suggest the new. And then I don't know if it's this lane or the next lane that goes down to that little rental cabin. But there's also a pretty nice playground here, so if you have a family, looks like a nice place to go and swing. Okay, so then if you're interested in renting these camping cabins, this cabin has an outhouse, nice parking spots here. Clearly it comes with electric, handicapped accessible. Not only handicapped accessible, but you know, even the picnic table is accessible. Looks like maybe somebody's up there, so we aren't going to do much. Although there's no, I don't know, there's no cars here, but anyhow, it looks, you know, like a pretty nice little site, and then again another swing set down next to the water. Old swing set that they look like they're just refilling in with mulch and everything underneath. Then I think if you're a tent camper, or maybe you have a small trailer that you don't mind not having a pad, I mean, that's a pretty nice site. It's I don't know what site number it is, because the electric box is 15. Okay, so my wife says it's 15. Anyhow, really nice view from this site. Looks relatively level. And then all of these right along this little fence here, there's like a little ravine, or I guess, drop off down to the lake here. And then even a really nice set of stairs going down. This is really soft area I'm walking on. This here, the sand is really soft. I don't think you'd want to park a trailer on this for sure. Well, I mean, I guess I don't know how really nice it is, but it's a decent set of steps. It's seems reasonably solid.
You just gotta fix it.
Anyhow, it takes you right down to a nice, like, grassy beach area, I guess. Nice place for picnics and stuff. Yeah, these are nice sites for tents along in here. I just think, they're a pretty sandy base, and you might have to pick up some sticks and whatnot to get in here. And I think parking your car, is probably okay on this gravel section here when they level it out, and they're obviously still working on it. Anyhow, this, for tent campers, and again, I don't think I would put a trailer on most of these sites, just even though you might have a small trailer and might be able to. The ground is pretty soft, so I don't think I would do that. But anyhow, nevertheless, I mean, it looks like you got electric at these sites, and really nice view. Okay, we're still up on that ridge, but you can see over here, right next to the camping area, there's a boat launch, and maybe there's kayaks and canoes and whatnot over here. I'm imagining those are rentals. I see there's a little building down there. So nice little area to go, grab some paddling sports opportunities. And it looks like a pretty nice lake for that. When we come back, I'll bring my canoe, and we'll check that out. Yeah, so we're still at Pinkney Recreation Center at Bruin Lake, and they just put in, with this ARPA money, these obviously new roads, but the potable water stations, which they've separated from the dump station. So the potable water stations, as you come in to the campground, there are 4 opportunities here to fill up your camper, and then way up there past the ranger station is where the dump stations are, and they're brand new and they don't work right now, so they're hopefully gonna have that in order in the next day or two. So you can see where they've got all the let's see if I can get my pointer in there. Big fat finger, because I'm on Zoom. Right up there, you can see where they've kind of put in all the ground cover to allow grass to come in where the new dump stations are at. So anyhow, very nice for, kind of upgrading, what was probably an old state park, and, gives you a nice mix of opportunity for people who have campers and people who have tents, and for people who just want to hike in and set up in the woods. And then there are a few other primitive campgrounds associated with this recreation center as well. So if you don't want amenities, and let me tell you, the one we drove through didn't have much of in the way of amenities. You know, but you're out there kind of in the woods and you know, dirt camping. So you know, if that's what you like, you're right off the lake, and you know, it's probably relatively inexpensive. Well, it's Sunday, 26th of April 2026, and we're at Pinckney. A lot of people are leaving. This is Pinckney Bruin Lake campground. So it's the modern campground. I think I've said that previously. And there are other campgrounds here that are primitive. So be sure that you, if you've reserved here, that you look up the address for this place, because the website gives you the address for the headquarters, which is near one of the rustic or primitive campsites, and not near this site. So just make sure you have the right address. That's I understand many people make that mistake, and as the ranger let us know. And you know, so just be clear on where you're going. Anyhow, it's a beautiful day. You can see it's April now, so the trees haven't bloomed out yet. This one's just starting to leaf out. And, you know, once that occurs, though, it's going to be a pretty nice park. I mean, it'll be, you know, it's well treed, so you're going to have lots of shade in here. And I would say not too many trees, just well treed. And anyhow, it's been a pretty nice, peaceful place. You know, people seem nice here, which, you know, at state parks is sometimes not easy to control. And anyhow, pretty nice. We're happy with it. Nice day. Well, this is our third season with our Intech, and there's the first Intech. I think it's actually the second Intech we've seen while camping out in the wild. And then whoop, right there is the third one. It came in about an hour from each other, an hour difference from each other.